A very big thank you to everyone that actually keeps following and subscribing. Really appreciate. All you have to do is go to YouTube, search for Pitchside with Peter Tabu, subscribe, and all this exclusive content will be coming your way. So I just want to, in a special way, appreciate everyone out there. So today we are back at it once again, and our guest on Pitchside today is a very hardworking and calm player on the pitch. He did captain his hometown club then, Arua Central Football Club, in the Star Times Uganda Premier League at a teenage age. He's gone on to play for some other clubs, but also did exceptionally well. All right, and joining me on Pitchside today is Gift Ali Abubeka. Gift Ali Ngoni.
M.Mutebi Ngoni.
Very good to have you here on Pitchside, and I'm glad that you've come through. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I mean, from playing at a teenage age in the Star Times Uganda Premier League, briefly give us the football journey of Gift Ali and who he is.
Yeah, started with Arua Central. The backbone of Arua Central at the time was Arua Kids League. Yes. And Arua Kids League was introduced because of then KKL. At the time, a few individuals in the town had an idea to keep the kids active, and there was immense talent in West Nile. Yes. The likes of Dudu Bosco, they introduced the Arua Kids League majorly to be able to have a feel of how the kids from West Nile can play against the best in the world at the time. Yes. Which was KKL. Yes. From then, before I joined KKL, that was school, so I joined Old Kampala. That was in my senior one. Yes. So things happened so fast. Basically, that is how the Arua Central Arua Kids League started about. Old Kampala introduced me to the football world in the country. Yes. Yeah, I think from there it's when Proline scouted me.
I've always wanted to sit down and talk to someone who was part of the KKL project, because I remember you, Benjamin Ochan, Saddam Juma, Juma Balinya, Maxime Vampi, were all part of this KKL, project that really crafted most of you. Tell me about it. How was the experience like, and what did you learn from it? Now it's no longer there. Do you think it should actually be revived in one or another?
Oh yes, to date, yeah. I believe KKL project is actually one of the best in the country. Yeah. It has it produced the most talent, in my opinion. Yes, especially in my generation. I mean, if you look around, we had around that year, all the youngsters in the league that were really promising, those really good young players, were a product of KKL. You mentioned Benjamin Ochan, Dennis Guma, Balinya Juma, to mention but a few. It really introduced us to the game and exposed us to football and Europe at a very tender age. Yes. The advantage we have at the time over the rest of the other players around was the confidence that you know what, I've played against the best players in the world. I've traveled the world. Yes. And not only that, I'm also a champion. At the time we were world champions. Yeah. So that exposure, in a way or another, has not only helped us, the players, yes, but also I think the country has benefited from the project. Yeah. Very many clubs did get players from the very same project, KKL. So yes, I would really love to see that KKL is back.
With the players that you played with, who is that standout player? Who was the most talented of you at that time that you felt stood out?
Very difficult question to answer. Yes. There were different age categories. Yes. Like Ochan Benjamin, yes, were a little bit older. Daniel Serunkuma were older. Not to take anything from the rest of my friends, I think in my own opinion, yes, the two Jumas stood out for me. Yeah, that's Saddam Juma and Balinya Juma. Yeah. Balinya was my captain then.
From the KKL, I want to fast track this conversation and we move to when you joined Proline Football Club, the academy. You were at Proline for 7 seasons, but you went through the ranks, if you like. I want you to tell me how important, how huge an impact has Proline had on your life, and how huge an impact has the Proline director M.Mutebi also had on your life.
Proline journey, it was one of the most important. It helped me, they nurtured me, and then the football side of it, also they groomed me. I came in Proline, I think 2010. From then to 2017, I think that's the only time I left Proline and joined police for a short stint. Proline as a project, Proline as an academy, they made me a better player, in my opinion. I think I've played my my best football around that time. Mujib took me as a boy. He didn't stop at signing a player from Arua.
He did more than that.
He did more than that. He is a father figure to me, and he has helped me in decision making, career guidance and all that. So yeah, Proline is my home.
Okay, when Proline was relegated from the South Sudan Premier League, it really hit different to people who really followed the club, and to Mujib, who had invested heavily in it. What's your take on the ideology of Proline? Do you think it should remain that way? Do you think they will still bounce back from the regional league to the big league and back to the Uganda Premier League?
Football can be cruel sometimes. Yes. A project like Proline, being a product of it, being a fan of Proline and all, it's sad that my team has gone down, but sometimes it's football. Sometimes you really fall down, but you don't need to stay down there. Sometimes you really need to stand up. They say fall back 5, stand up 6 times. About the projects, yes, to some extent, yes, you need that, because football also sometimes you need the money. We can't run away from that fact. Yes, you need resources. You need sponsorship. For a club to really compete at the highest level. But I don't know. I think in the country, or in Uganda here, we do not have so much in terms of funds. It's really difficult. That's why financially I think it hasn't really competed with the rest of the clubs around here, because it solely depends on a few individuals. But I know those people. They are football people. They will continue sponsoring. They will continue supporting not only Proline but football. Hopefully one day they will get the needed support. But for now, they are in the region side. It's the region, yeah. Regional league. I hope they really bounce back, because according to me, they're supposed to be in the top. Yes.
Proline has produced so many players, some playing on the national team, others playing abroad. But do you think this will still continue? Because I know in some way or another you're part of the Proline Academy that trains youngsters.
Proline has produced, and it will continue producing. But I think it's still we are still able to do that.
Yes.
But the question is, how do we cross?
Do more.
More, yeah, and have some of these players, like making it in the top leagues. That is the question, and for now I do not have the answers.
But let's move on to when you joined KCCA FC. You joined KCCA FC under the stewardship of M.Mutebi, and you are signed alongside other creative midfielders. Saddam Juma joined you as well. How was your time at KCCA FC?
My time at KCC from Proline at the time was a career-changing kind of a move. I was now moving into going into playing the Champions League, you know, thinking trophies here and there. And like while I was at Proline, it was more of you know, stay in the league. I would say it was one of the best decisions. It was one of the best signings for me as a person. I did not only just join KCC, I became also a fan at one point of my career. Yes, I enjoyed my time. It was one of the best, and the players also gave me the competition. Like you mentioned, we had the best players, best midfield players. To mention a few, Saddam Juma, Mutiaba, the two Mutiabas, Mike and Mozamir, Nunda Jackson. You know, what a talent. They were really great lads.
How do you describe working with Coach Mike M.Mutebi?
The best I've ever had. Coach Mike, growing up, you know, I always thought this is a tough guy, you know, and we always wanted soft. You know, as players, we always wanted soft. I would, at the time, I would think of other options not to work with Coach Mike. But you know, football has its own ways of working out. So I found myself under him. He has had a brick on my career. So I really enjoyed, and to me, he is one of the best coaches we have here.
So are you trying to explain that the myth that people had of him not respecting players apparently, and making it seem like he did not appreciate people's efforts? Are you trying to tell people out here that that's not the case actually?
Like any other human being, you know, we do have, can I call it, how do I put this correctly? Yes, Coach Mike might have, he might be a little bit too hard sometimes, but it is because he believes a lot in a player. So if you do not deliver, sometimes it really puts, he comes at you. But to some extent, he was always right, because I believe whatever he was doing helped the club, you know, achieve whatever it achieved. To date, I think he still stands out as one of the most successful, you know. Yes, I enjoyed my time under Coach Mike, though he was a very difficult person.
Let's move on to last season at KCCA FC. You, as a team, you people had a very, very good first round. Everyone was really counting on you guys coming through to the second round. What happened at the club, especially with the second round? What went on with the team entirely? We
had a fantastic first round, no doubt about that. If you look at first round and second round, you know, it looked totally different team. Majorly, I think, my opinion, because we had lots of injuries. At one point in the season, I also got injured till now. We lost quite a number of players who could miss a game or two and then come back. By the time he is back, he's not as lethal as he was a few games ago. I think to some extent also the introduction, you know, of the new players kind of also affected. I don't know, but maybe we're not gelling as much as we did in the, you know, but to me it was a season I want to forget as much as I can, because it's a season we wanted to win, and we thought we could win. We had the team, the coaches were there for us, and we tried to do our best, but somehow luck, I think, wasn't on our side. When we were in the season, the coaches were trying, you know, like you said, different style of play, and then you were asked to do this for the club, and it might look too much to be asked from a player, but at the top level, that's what you're supposed to do to some extent. I would not say the players failed entirely, no. Like I said, injuries also hit us in a way, and also officiations. In my opinion, the officiations were not fair. You know, the game can be cruel, like I mentioned earlier.
All right, thank you very much for that insight on how the season was at KCC. Let's talk about your exit at KCCA FC.
People who have known me as a really honest person. I will tell you, it came as a shock. I had the feeling that I would still continue at the club, but yeah, the club thought otherwise. But the manner in which they did it surprised me, and I didn't like it, for one, because I believe if you were to release a player, you don't combine 8 players at a go and then you release a statement.
Yes.
You know, I've seen teams release players. It's normal to, you know, but there should be some bit of respect in the way you do these things.
How would you advise clubs to handle this situation?
Just be professional. I mean, you know, there should not be that communication gap between a club and a player. At the end of the day, these are human beings, you know. You can sit a person down, you know, and tell him, you know, for reason A, B, C, D, we feel we're not going to need your services, but we wish you the best, you know. And anytime, you're welcome.
Let's get to the injury bit. So you had surgery. What was the injury? How long are you out?
I got injured on the 3rd of March.
Yes.
In Wankulukuku. We were playing Express, yes, around 60-something minutes. At the time I thought it was minor, yes, you know. Then did a few scans here and there, and the result showed I had a torn ligament, SCL, and SCL is one of the longest, you know, injuries that can keep you out for some time. I'll be out for about 7 to 8 months. Yeah, and I did the surgery on the 15th of April. I am supposed to be doing rehab. It's something me and the club are trying to do. I'll be out for at least the first round. So maybe I'm thinking November, yes, if I am lucky enough. But I am really working so hard to see that I come back, because I missed the game.
You're one of the very few players that so many people have been longing for to be on the national team and play. But for some reason, you have been unable to actually make an official cap, if you like. By that I mean an AFCON qualifier or World Cup qualifier.
To be honest, I've always come close. You know, like, you feel you actually deserve to be on the team, and for some reasons you don't get there. But yes, I've been disappointed that I haven't made it. I do not know why. Yes. Because I think I deserve it, and I think I have the potential. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but that is how I feel.
And honestly, this is the right platform for you to come through and say it. I know that at one time you contemplated switching nationalities. I know you have South Sudan roots as Gift Ali, coming from Arua. How true is that, and is it true you actually thought about it?
Yes, I did. I almost played. At the time, there was a different national team coach. He was in touch with me and the FA. But then when COVID hit, yes, somehow it didn't materialize. I'm still thinking about it at the moment.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility, and for now I am fully concentrating on recovery.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Unless you have any last words, I'd like to really appreciate that you came through on Pitchside and you shared this side of the story.
On the side of players not coming out, yes, you know, if you don't speak up, who will for you, man? Yeah. So it's your game, it's our game. We need to, you know, you need to be free. It begins with you, you know. It's normal, you know, to have an opinion. Yeah. You know, it's not always that you're fighting, you know. Exactly. So yeah, I'm humbled to be here and to share with the people out there.
All right, yeah. That was Gift Ali, and like again, I keep saying, please take your time and subscribe on the channel Pitchside, so that you can have more of this exclusive information. Cheers.
Cheers, bro.